You are listening to EPT 100 Days, a podcast I developed for you to easily access targeted forgiveness and affirmation statements. I'm Sherry Hamilton, holistic emotional therapist at EPT Works Huntsville. EPT is short for Emotional Polarity Technique, an innovative, holistic emotional therapy that will change your life for good. 100 Days of EPT, Day 97. I embody grace and kindness in all situations. Think and speak aloud. I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I want you to think of a time when someone gave you a direct compliment and you refused it. You either refused it with self-criticism or disagreement, with the nice observation given to you. I want you to begin to acknowledge and accept more goodness in your life that is coming into you from a variety of sources. You don't have to pay for the goodness coming to you, and you don't have to restrict it for any reason. As you open access to receiving more of the goodness in life for you, then you will allow for increased grace and kindness toward yourself. This increasing of grace and kindness grows in you, and that makes more goodness available to each person you know. While thinking, I embody grace and kindness in all situations. Place one hand over your heart and one hand over your forehead. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Repeat, taking 2 more deep breaths in and out. Remove your hand from your forehead. Hold one hand over your heart with your thumb under one collarbone and your 4 fingers under the other collarbone. Gently rub spots below collarbones while speaking the following statements. Take a deep breath in and out after you speak aloud each statement. I forgive myself for being aware of my lack of grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for blaming others for my lack of grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for creating experiences in my life to maintain my lack of grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for using my lack of grace and kindness in all situations to justify my own powerlessness. I forgive myself for believing I don't have the power to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for believing that it is impossible for me to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for believing that grace and kindness in all situations only belongs to others, not to me. I forgive myself for believing that it isn't safe for me or for others for me to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive others for limiting my grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive others for using me as their false source of grace and kindness. I forgive others for failing to train me when I was young with grace and kindness in all situations. I give others permission to forgive me for blaming them for my lack of attention to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I give others permission to forgive me for choosing to take responsibility over my creative attention to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for every time I have used someone to blame for my lack of grace and kindness. I forgive myself for what I have not known about creating my own resource and experience to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for seeking my grace and kindness through a false humility. I forgive myself for believing grace and kindness in all situations is not possible for me. I forgive myself for believing there are some things that can never heal. I forgive myself for believing someone has to change before I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for believing I don't truly deserve the grace and kindness that others give to me. I forgive myself for holding on to a life that doesn't exist for me as a way to refuse grace and kindness in all situations. I forgive myself for holding on to the way I hoped it would be in place of the way it is. I forgive myself for resisting the way my life is now. I forgive myself for resisting more goodness in my life with grace and kindness in all situations. I accept the hurt in my life that has taken time, energy, and attention away from my experience to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I accept the happiness in my life as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I accept the resistance I feel to my awareness to embody grace and kindness in all situations. I accept the anger I feel to my experience of grace and kindness in all situations. I accept the sadness I feel to my experience of grace and kindness in all situations. I increase my level of acceptance to my resistance to letting go of all my unexpressed anger, I feel with grace and kindness in all situations. I increase my level of acceptance to my resistance to my acceptance of the sadness I feel with grace and kindness in all situations. Even though I have experienced difficulty, I still love and accept myself, and I embody grace and kindness in all situations. Even though my experiences have taken away my attention from grace and kindness, I still love and accept myself, feeling safe as I embody grace and kindness in a love relationship now. Even though I have been humiliated, I still am lovable and safe as I embody grace and kindness in love relationships now. Even though I have failed at experiencing grace and kindness, and I have been ashamed, I still love and accept myself now. Even though I hurt someone I love, and I have been guilty of disturbing grace and kindness, I am now responsible for loving others. Even though I'm not perfect at embodying grace and kindness, I am now responsible to do my best for those I love. I say yes to my difficult experiences, and I call it up and release it to divine love and gratitude. I say yes to my shame, guilt, and humiliation, and I call it up and release it from my body, mind, and spirit. I say yes to my anger and grief, and I call it up and release it to God's love and mercy. In the space where I have stored my unresolved, difficult experiences, I now open up massive space for grace and kindness to flow in my life now. I forgive myself for believing there was something I did that caused this lack of grace and kindness to happen to me. I forgive myself for believing there was something I could have done to prevent grace and kindness from happening to me. I forgive myself for blaming myself for what happened and restricting myself from grace and kindness. I forgive myself for believing I must continue to spend energy and attention on my past difficulty to keep me from grace and kindness now. Without this pattern of restricting grace and kindness in my body, I am free to let it go and to choose a new response of forgiveness, grace, and kindness toward myself and others. I am free to love myself more fully for who I am, as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to love others more fully for who they are, as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to be safe as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to be loved as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to have abundance and prosperity as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to be healed from difficult memory cycles that no longer serve me, as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to be at peace. I am free to give more love to others and myself. I am free to accept all of the goodness that comes to me as God's free gifts to me. Without this pattern of restricting grace and kindness in my body, I am free to receive all of God's free gifts of goodness to me with grace and kindness. I am free to be happy as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to be joyful as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I am free to accept my life the way it is with grace and kindness. I am free to create something brand new in my life as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I'm free to heal my relationships as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I'm free to feel worthy of love as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I give myself permission to feel happy and free when I am loved as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I give myself permission to feel safe and secure as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I give myself permission to feel confident and safe as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I give myself permission to feel great as I embody grace and kindness in all situations in my life, even when fantastic new experiences happen in my life. I choose to let go of the pain and to love myself more fully as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I choose to be happy as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I choose to love myself as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. I choose to let go of the anger and to respond in love as I embody grace and kindness in all situations. May you be blessed with honesty and humility in your own beautifully complex and purposeful life. May you easily let go of fantasy extremes and substitutes that can never satisfy or create an authentic, connected experience for you. May you know and experience who you are with kindness, compassion, and creativity. May you proceed in life with care and value, goodness and gratitude toward yourself and others, and may you experience true transformation in living well in newness of life.